So as I have mentioned before, we just came back from a mission trip from Thailand. Okay, that's right. Yes, that is the right PowerPoint. Thank God. Okay, from Thailand. That's a shot of all the kids from the orphanage that we stayed at and we served for about a week. It's a group parting shot that we stayed at. And, this is the second time I've gone to northern Thailand. And before that, I've never gone to Thailand before. And I know very, very little about the Thai culture. Very, very little. However, because I live in Southern California, you guys probably know there are a lot of popular Thai restaurants here. Anybody like Thai food? Oh yeah, quite a few people, right? And there's not just Thai restaurants here. There are all kinds of ethnic restaurants in Southern California. That's what's so cool about Southern California. And if you like a certain type of food, if you sampled enough of it, you start to identify food by their distinct characters, their distinct flavors, like Japanese food. Who likes Japanese food? Everybody likes everything. Okay, that's cool. Japanese food has this distinct flavor of kind of lacking flavor. It's more bland. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I mean, it's more like fresh, natural taste. I shouldn't use bland. Natural tasting. Not a whole bunch of spices add to it. They like it to be more natural. Okay, very fresh and delicate. That's like Japanese food's distinct flavor, right? Or Greek food. Who likes Greek food? Oh, not many people have had. Greek food is very different. Greek food is very different, right? It's very well prepared. Lots of spices, barbecue and stuff like that. Very special Mediterranean. It's got a special yogurt involved that you have to kind of acquire the taste. Okay, and Thai food, right? Now if you like Thai food, then you know about Thai food's special flavoring characteristic. It's usually quite spicy. Now in Southern California, they kind of tone it down because they don't want to get lawsuits and stuff like that. Okay, so I was at Thailand this time, and the pastor over there, and we were just talking about ministry and stuff, and she said, hey, why don't we go and have some coffee with the coworkers? And oh, sure, I love coffee. So we stopped by this restaurant on the side of the road, and there's some food you can order as well. So we just order some simple food, and it's just like plain rice with some stir-fried vegetables and meat, with curry sauce. It looks not spicy at all. Okay, so I drank a coffee and it was very good. And before I was gonna take my first bite, I believe the Holy Spirit reminded me that, wait, you should take a smaller bite first and see what happens. So I took a smaller bite, and thank goodness I took a small bite, because it wasn't just hot, it was painful. Okay, it was pain. It caused pain in my mouth. So anyways, so that's a special flavoring characteristic of Thai food, right? And just like food, okay, people have special characteristics. Like Christians should carry with themselves a set of special characteristics or flavors or attitudes that wherever we go, people can tell us apart. We're not just anybody. We're people who follow Jesus Christ. And in fact, that flavoring should be very strong, that it not only like notify people about our presence, but it should influence people. It should change people. It should have a changing effect, right? And this reminds me of a passage when Jesus was preaching a while ago, a very famous sermon that he did called Sermon on the Mount. And he mentioned a whole bunch of characteristics that are very good for Christians to have, and that's recorded in Matthew chapter 5, verses 1 through 13. Matthew chapter 5, verses 1 through 13. Can we go to the next slide? Yeah, thank you. Okay, so this is what Jesus said. Now when Jesus saw the crowds, he went up on the mountainside and sat down. His disciples came to him, and he began to teach them. He said, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you." And then he said this very, very famous passage. "You are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot." All right? Now we know this, all Christians know this salt passage very well. We're the salt of this world, right? And salt has its function. And if I lose the character of salt, like I'm not salty anymore, then I am useless. Salt is supposed to have the flavor of saltiness, right? And we're wondering about, when I read this many, many times, I'm thinking about, so Christians should have this flavoring effect, Christian characters. But this time after I read it, and after my stay in Thailand, with the ministries over there, I realized that specifically when Jesus was talking about the flavoring of salt, he's talking about the flavoring of Christians, for which he just said before this. It's the Beatitudes. The poor in spirit, the merciful, the meek, those who seek righteousness, those who are pure in heart. And on this trip, I've witnessed and I have been influenced by the flavor of some of the people that I have met, some of the Christians that I have met. And their flavoring of Christianity is so strong. It changed me. And it changed all of the team members. And you can ask them. They will witness to you about how strong the Christian flavors were back in Thailand. But talking about salt, right? Salt is a flavoring agent. You put salt in anything, in any food, in any liquid, it will make that liquid salty if you add enough of it. Just one speck, maybe not. But if you add enough of it, it will change anything into a salty tasting food or drink. Like this once, I say I like coffee, right? I like coffee since I was very young, since I was in elementary school. Maybe because coffee doesn't affect me, I can drink coffee and fall right to sleep and stuff. But I like the taste a lot. But I'm not like what you call a real coffee drinker. Real coffee drinkers say that they drink it black, right? That's what they say, but I'm a real coffee drinker. I don't drink it black. I drink it with nice cream and sugar. Okay, I always do that. And I have a specific mixture that will make it very, very good tasting. So anyways, there was this once I was at my high school buddy's house. And his mom's a real coffee drinker too. And she said, "Hey, I heard you like coffee. You want to try some of the coffee that I have? It's really special." I said, "Sure." And she brewed it, and it was very, very special, right? So I couldn't wait to drink. I was a little thirsty too, but I really, really liked the scent of that coffee already. But because it wasn't my house, I don't know where everything's kept. So I asked her, where are the cream and sugar? And she said, "Oh, it's in the fridge, and then the sugar is by the cupboard." So I went, and I took the creamer, and I dumped some in my cup, and I found some jars, glass jars, of white powders inside. Okay, so I took one, and because I was kind of thirsty, I just took one, and then I dumped some white powder in, and I started mixing it and stuff, right? And then, so I took a sip because I was kind of thirsty. I took a big sip, and I tell you, okay, It's the worst thing I ever drank in my life. Yeah, it's probably poisonous. I don't know, but you just imagine if you're a coffee drinker, real strong coffee that's very salty, right? It's very bad. I almost passed out and stuff. Yeah, so it's a very strong coffee, but if you add enough salt in it, it will change that into a salty drink. If you add enough salt to anything, it will change that thing into a salty thing. That's how salt functions. Same thing with Christians. If Christians have these attitudes that Jesus was talking about, and if enough of us have it, when we step into the world, we change the world. We don't allow the world to change us. But if we lose the saltiness, if we don't even have it to begin with, I don't have the beatitudes to begin with, then Jesus is saying that what good are you as a Christian? And that really struck me very hard this time in Thailand, because we met some very special people, special Christians in Thailand. And I witnessed not all the Beatitudes, but some of them really stood out. It really stood out at me, that it really shocked me and it really influenced me. The first one I want to share is the flavor of meekness. Now, meekness is something that Christians struggle with, because this word, translated in multiple languages, it doesn't really describe what it really means. Because Jesus himself is meek, but meek definitely is not weak. Okay, we think about someone who's meek as someone who's quiet, submissive, does not fight back. But that's not what meek is talking about. Meek, in its biblical term, in Greek, it means drawing on the strength of God under his control. In the circumstances, I don't use my own strength and my own wisdom or my own will to determine what to do or to carry out any action or words. I depend on the strength of God to help me to do what I'm supposed to do. In order to do that, first of all, I have to know what God's will is. What would he like me to do in this situation? I have to, that's the premise. In order to draw on the strength of God, I have to do his thing. If I don't do his thing, then of course I'm not going to get strength from him. But if I know what I'm doing, even if it's difficult, but it's the right things to do, it's what God wants me to do, then I can endure a lot of trials or even pain. I could be very tired, but because I know this is what God would like me to do, then I draw on his strength under his control, not based on my own will or my own strength. So this time we went to Thailand, and our plane, the last transfer flight from Bangkok, which is the main city, to Chiang Rai, which is where we're supposed to be at, it didn't get canceled. It never existed according to the Bangkok airline. Okay, we went there when we were gonna pick up our boarding pass, and then they gave us our boarding pass. But on the boarding pass it says it's a 5:50 flight instead of a 1:50 flight. It's 4 hours later. So we're like, what in the world is this? So we asked them, and then the lady there said, oh, there is no 1:50 flight. Did it get canceled or is it delayed? Oh, no, there was never a 1:50 flight. Then what do you call this? It says 1:50 on my flight itinerary. Like my travel agent didn't go crazy and type it up herself, right? We bought this, we paid, and they just could not explain it and they couldn't find it. And I don't want to give them a hard time. They just work there. They don't own the company or anything like that. So in the end, there's no way. We had to take the 5:50 flight. And we arrived at Chiang Rai so late. It was almost 9 p.m. Originally, there was a program with the kids over there by the orphanage for us, but they waited for 4 hours and we were not there, so we went there, we just settled in, and we went to sleep. The next day we woke up at 4:30 a.m. because every morning we lead morning devotion at 5 a.m. That's how early all the kids get up every day. Okay, 5 a.m. we have breakfast, we learn basic Thai, and then we were on our way up to the mountain villages to serve for 2 days. And the first day we were there, we went up there, it's in the afternoon, we had an awesome dinner, and then we had a program, I spoke. Right after that, we were all looking forward to that part of the program. We were supposed to go caroling with the church people, go to the households in the village, in the mountain, to go caroling. Right? So that was very new and very exciting for us. So we were all excited. We went with all the church people, and we went to the first house, and actually, every house is the same. We would go to the house, and then the pastor will start the program, start the caroling by saying "Merry Christmas" in English. So that was really cool for us. And then everybody would say "To you," right? Yeah, that's what they say. To you, and then we'll start singing in Thai. That's when I get lost. And then they will sing 2 songs, and then they will ask a minister or a pastor to go inside where the hosts of the household is there with snacks and everything ready, and we would bless the household. That was really awesome. I didn't know I was supposed to do that, but I got a chance to do that. So I blessed the first household. That was really awesome. And then we went to the second house, and it's in the mountains. It's all dirt road. None of it's paved, and it's pitch black. No street light. People are using flashlights and stuff like that. Right, so we went to the second house, and it was very exciting. We did the same thing, and someone else blessed the house. And we went to the third house and the fourth house. And by the time we got to the 8th house, right, it was starting to get a little old, right? So because it starts with "Merry Christmas," and everyone says "To you," and then we start singing those 2 songs in Thai again, right? And then we start blessing the house because, see, we were up since 4:30 in the morning. And it was like almost 10 or something by the time we finished the 8th house. Especially for the team members, we were about to pass out. Okay, some of us were singing like this with our eyes closed and stuff. We're probably singing and I don't know what. But anyways, so someone asked some of the people there, so how many houses are we going to do? And they said around 30 some houses. So we were at the 8th house, and we were thinking, oh no, okay, that's cool. So we just continued and persisted. But as we continued and persisted, I realized one of our team members, she was just like on fire, okay, because she really likes kids or something. So all the kids, the little girls, were like arm with her, and they were just singing and moving like this and dancing and super excited. Everywhere they went, like the minister will say "Merry Christmas," and they'll be screaming "To you," and then still be excited singing. And like to the last house, she was like that. Yeah, she was like that. To me, that gave me a picture of meekness, because I know she's very tired. All of the team members was about to pass out. But I saw that she was filled with the joy of the Lord because she knew she was doing God's work. So much so that it was not her own strength anymore, because none of us had any strength left. It was the strength from God. And when you draw on the strength from God to do God's work, you really enjoy it. You don't really get tired. It's like that for anything in life. It could be your school, it could be your work. If you do things as if you're doing it unto the Lord, and you draw on the Lord's strength rather than your own, that's called meekness. It's not weakness. It's completely different. So when I saw that, when I witnessed that, I realized something. 1 year before, in 2013, I went to the same village, but I didn't get a chance to meet any villagers in their house, in their homes. And I was taking pictures. I remember I was asking God, I wonder who these people are. I wonder if I'll never meet them. I wonder if I'll never say hi to them. Because I was just staying there for I only stayed there for one afternoon in 2013. But this year, God gave me the opportunity. I not only get to eat with them, do caroling with them, I get to go into their households and bless the people there. As a pastor, that's amazing. That's an amazing privilege. And I realized that as I was witnessing my young sister being all excited. So I started to get excited. So I regained the strength, which is not my own strength. It's God's strength. And I happily finished the care. It was past 11 p.m., something like that. It was a very tiring day. But the meek shall inherit the earth, as Jesus said, because the meek draws strength from God. In everything we do, lean not on our own strength or understanding. First and foremost, is this something God wants you to do? If it is, then draw on His strength. He'll give you His strength. Why would He commission you to do this if He does not give you strength? It's like that in school and work. It's like that in serving in ministry. Yeah, people get tired from serving. Sometimes it's not physical tiredness. Sometimes it's mental, spiritual tiredness. But if you come before the Lord and you ask Him again, Lord, is this what you would like me to do? Because if it is, give me strength, please. He will. He will. That's the spirit of meekness. And I witnessed that on this trip. The second thing that I witnessed in abundance was the flavor of pure hearts. The flavor of pure hearts. Jesus said, the pure in heart will see God. Oh, and I witnessed a lot of Christians with pure hearts in northern Thailand. It's amazing. Here, the word pure. Oh, I should explain something, huh? I didn't explain the picture. Did you guys see the picture when I was at the household? Can we go back? Yeah, that's a household. That's a household that I got to bless, one of the houses. It's just simple household, and in the middle, there's a tray with the snacks and the drinks that I was talking about. The owners laid out for us. They're very welcoming. They looked at this thing as something that's very important for the house, for a minister to go in and bless the household, for the church people to go and bless them with songs. So that was really something. I'm sorry. The next slide. Flavor of pure hearts. This is a shot in the same village. In the same village, the kids, the young people from Emmanuel Orphanage was putting on a program for the villagers. We were supposed to go into another village that day. Okay, the other village we were supposed to go into to do the program has very little, actually has no Christians. All 200 households, none of them are Christians. But this organization's pastor, Pastor Lin, and the kids have done enough preparation work that during Christmas, they were allowing us to go in, or them to go in, to host an evangelical program, a Christmas program, with shows and dances and everything. But that morning, this Christmas morning, we got word that someone has passed away in that village. And per the Aka people's tradition, if someone passes away in your village, you cannot do any celebration. Any celebration for a month. So we couldn't go in and hold a Christmas program. But instead, we just immediately, the kids immediately built this makeshift platform stage out in this large, it's just a dirt large area, and set up temporary chairs out there and made it into kind of like a hall like this, and did an outdoor presentation. That's the worship and the dance team over there. And they did skits and they did dances and everything. But among these young people, all of the team members witness what the flavor of pure heart tastes like. And it is incredible. It is incredible.